guys, it's Nasally Hayden here today, back again with another SATs revision video, this time with a stonking cold. But that's not going to stop me making revision videos for you. Now today we're going to be diving into long division. Do stick around through the whole video because I've got some amazing strategies to show you. I guarantee by the end of the video, especially when you get to my advanced strategies at the end, I guarantee you'll see a method that you've never been taught before at school. So if you're coming here pretty confident already, you just stick around. You just wait. You'll see, okay? And if you're here because you're thinking, I'm not really sure about long division, then this video is going to be great for you as well. So before we dive into long division, just want to make one point. When we're doing division in general, like this short division question here, we need to understand that this number here, we need to know the times table of it, don't we? It's kind of hard to know how many lots of 8 go into this number if we don't know the 8 times table, all right? So I'll quickly model this question for you with my 8 times table down the side to show you what I mean. When we're working through division, and it is the same for long division, we simply do this. We say, how many groups of 8 can I make from this number? In other words, how many 8s are in 2? And of course, 2 is not even at one lot of 8, is it? There's no 8s in 2. So I exchange the remainder across the 2 that I haven't used. And we go and we think to ourselves, how many 8s in 27? Looking at my times tables or knowing my times tables, I know that I can get 3 8s into 27. I can't get 4 8s in 27 because that's too high. So if it goes too high, you can't use it. I can get 3 8s in 27, which I put at the top, but any remainders, anything I haven't used up, I need to exchange to my next column. So from 24 to 27, we could do a very simple subtraction to find the difference. Hopefully you guys can just count up from 24 to 27 to find that the difference is just 3. So that 3 that we haven't used goes across, 8s into 32. Well, there's my next times table. I know that 4 times 8 is 32. Okay, so I just want to make that really clear that we need to know our times table to solve these division questions. So with long division, it's as simple as this. The number that we have on the left, we don't know that times table. Well, most of us don't anyway. Maybe Dylan does. Probably not. Not even Dylan. Dylan doesn't even know the 43 times table. So to solve whatever question comes up, we kind of need to know our 43 times table, right? Which we don't know. So we're going to do a couple of building activities here. I've got 2 ways that I like to teach children at school, and perhaps your teachers use some of these. They're called fact boxes. And with long division questions, it can be really useful to work out the times table before you actually start tackling the question. And I'm going to model 2 ways for you. So the first method over this side is probably my preferred method, but it does rely on a really good understanding of doubling and halving numbers. And if you find that you can't double and halve numbers quite quickly, or even just add numbers on, like if I was asking you to add 43 to something, if you find that those mental arithmetic skills you struggle with, then you're going to want to use the second method, which I'll get to. So let me model this one first for you. Simple as this. We're going to build up the 43 times table, but we're not going to do it in order. We will start with 2, purely because 2 lots is double 1 lot. So if we double 43, we get 86, which gives us our first bit of times table. Now, I'm not going to go to the third one. I'm actually going to skip some now and do some more easy ones. If 1 times 43 is 43, 10 times 43 just has a 0 on the end. It's 430. And here's the cool thing. I can go from 10 lots to 5 lots by halving it, right? 5 times something is half of 10 times something. So half of 430 I can do really easily in my head because half of 400 is 200 and half of 30 is 15. So you see how we're building up the times tables here, but in a slightly more efficient way. What else can we do? Well, if I know 2 lots is 86, if I doubled it again, I'd get 4 lots, wouldn't I? And if I doubled that, I'd get 8 lots. So actually, let's go ahead and fill in 4 lots and 8 lots, shall we? So double 86, always partition it in your head. Double 80 is 160, hold it. Double 6 is 12. 160 and 12 together makes 172. So we're going to double this again now to get 8 lots. So let's do it again. Double 100 is 200. Double 70 is 140. So we're on 340 now altogether. Double 2 is 4. So we're on 344 altogether. That's how I double in my head. You might do it a bit quicker, but that is how I'm breaking it down each time. So look at this. We've already built in loads of our times tables. And if you're quick at doubling and halving, that would have taken you like 10, 15 seconds. Now we can go ahead and fill in the other ones in any way we like. So to find 3 lots of 43, there's lots of things I could do. I could just do 43 times 3 over here if I find that I'm quite quick at doing that. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. That was quick. Or I could add 43 to that number. Or I could have subtracted 43 from that number. Knowing that all of these things work means that you'll probably pick the quickest one. That's the best way to do it. I get 129. And what's really cool is I can use this one to now get 6 lots. If I double 129, I get 6 lots. Double 3 lots is 6 lots. So double 129, again, what I'm going to do this time is double 130 and use that fact to help me. Double 130 is 260. So double 129 must be 258. We are nearly there, guys. Oh, look, I wrote 7 lots instead of 8 lots. Guys, you got to always check what you're doing. Oh, I bet some of you are screaming at the screen then, weren't you? Like, no, you've done it wrong. You've done it in the wrong place. Good job I checked. And I was thinking then, because I'm so used to doing this, I was thinking, why do I still have 8 lots? I thought I did my doubling. So now we've got 2 left. We've got 7 lots and we've got 9 lots. I'm going to do 9 lots first, because you know what I could do? There's 2 things. I could either triple this number. If I triple 3 lots, I get 9 lots. Or, do you know what? I can just do 43 times 9, just to speed me up. Now, is there a quicker way to do this? You might be thinking, well, actually, why didn't I just subtract 43 from there? Or add 43 from there? It doesn't matter. You do whatever you want to get that number filled in, all right, guys? I don't really care. So, do you know what I'm looking at, thinking is the easiest out of these 3? Just adding 43 to this. 40 add 40 is 80. 4 add 3 is 7. 387. Do you see that, guys? Nice and simple. And the last one, again, do you know what I'm going to do? Because I can see this is really easy. I'm going to take away 43 from that one because it's 44. So it's just going to be 301. That's one way of building up your fact box. Now, it took me quite a long time there because I was explaining everything. But if you're fluent with your number facts, you can build that in under a minute easily, every time, all right? Now, if you're thinking that was a bit too complex for me, check out this other method, and then you can pick between the 2 to see what you like. Here's another really cool method. This one's a bit more straightforward. So we've partitioned 43 into 40 and 3. And what we're going to do is we're going to write out our 40 times table, our 3 times table, and then add them back together to get the 43 times table. Really easy to do now because we've taken away the 1s. So the 40 times table is quite simply the 4 times table, but with a 0 on the end. So let's just do the 4 times table, and then we'll put the zeros in the end, on the end, at the end. Words. Okay, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. Let's go ahead and put our zeros on to make it the 40 times table, not the 4 times table. So there's the first bit done, nice and simple. And on this one, we're going to do the 3 times table. We're going to make sure to keep it in line though, because we're going to have to add these up in a second. So if they're all wonky, we're going to get confused. So we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, and 30. And now watch, it's as simple as this. You just have to add the parts together and you'll find that we're going to get the same answers as we got here on the left. So let's do it very quickly. 80 plus 6 is 86, 129, 172. You get the idea here, right, guys? You're just adding them together and hopefully you're seeing the numbers emerge once again that we got on the left-hand side. 387 and 430. So there you go. There's 2 ways of building up a fact box that you can use for your times table. So now if I gave you a times table question and you'd already built this fact box, for example here, so I've got my times tables written on here now. If I wanted to work out 28,896 divided by 43 and I had this fact box, it's pretty much as easy as short division now. The only challenge I might get is working out the remainder because we're working with bigger numbers. So I'm going to let you pause the video. I want you to go ahead and actually have a go at this question before I solve it. And then you can come back. If you made a mistake, you can see where you went wrong because I'm going to model it for you. Okay, we're back. So 43s into 2. We know that we cannot get any 43s out of 2. So a 0 goes on top and the 2 goes across. And sometimes this happens. It happens again. 43s into 28. It's still not big enough to even get 1 times 43. So once again, it's 0. And the whole 28 goes across. All right. Now, you'll notice I'm modeling this like short division. In a minute, I'm going to go back and model it in a slightly different way. So again, you can pick what method you like the most. 43s into 288. This is where our times table is going to come in handy. Now, we can't go above 288, so what's the highest we can get? 2 lots, 3 lots, 4 lots, 5 lots, 6 lots. 7 lots is too high because it goes over 288, so we're going to have to stick to 6 lots. So we write 6 on the top, and now we have to work out the remainder. So in other words, the difference between 6 lots of 43, which is 258, and the 288 that we had. Now, luckily, because they both end in 8, the difference is actually really easy to work out. It's just 30. 50 plus 30 gets me to 80. So again, how many 43s in 309? Well, actually, if I go one more down from where we were, 301 is really close to that. So I can get 7 lots out of this, but I definitely can't get any more, okay? So again, what's the remainder between 301 and 309? Hopefully we can very quickly work out that that's just 8 left over. The 8 goes across, and look, what do we notice? 86, it's in our times table, it's right here. So to finish up the question, we get a 2. That's kind of cool, right? Now, if you were thinking, oh, the remainders that I get wrong, then watch this. Let me rub this out and just show you another way of presenting this. Now, this is the way that Dylan always does it. If you watch Dylan's videos, he always presents it like this. And it is a good way to do it, okay? So again, 43, as we're going through into 28, we can get to this stage really easily, okay? So we're at 288 now, is what we're thinking, 288. 43s into 288, we decided was 6, right? So we write the 6 up here. Now, instead of trying to work out the remainder in our head, we quite simply write down what 43 times 6 is underneath. So we write the 258 here, lined up, and then we can just use subtraction, because it's already laid out nicely, to find the remainder. Because remember, the remainder is just the difference between the two numbers. 8 subtract 8 is 0, 8 subtract 5 is 3, 2 subtract 2 is 0. And then once you've got that remainder, in short division, we'd write it up here, wouldn't we, next to the 9. So let's just bring the 9 down so it's nice and clear again. Okay, that's the same as me writing a little 30 up there. Does that make sense? So we can just pull it down instead. And then we just kind of carry on from here, right? We're thinking, how many 43s in 309? Well, we knew it was 7 lots, didn't we? And we knew it was 301. So I'm going to go ahead and write my 301 here and do the same thing. I'm just going to use subtraction to find my remainder. 9 take away 1 is 8, 0 take away 0, and 3 take away 3. Okay, so we've got our 8 left over. And once again, rather than writing it up here, we're just going to pull that 6 down. And that's how we work. So you kind of work down the page like this, and it gives you more space, and it gives you a chance to use subtraction to find your remainders. Now we know that there are exactly 2 43s in 86. So if we were being really serious about this, we'd do our final subtraction, and we'd get an answer of 0, which means there's 0 remainder. Now, if you had a really hard question where it didn't go exactly in at the end, you might have a remainder here, and this number would be your actual remainder at the end. So 2 ways there. Have a think about what you like the most, because it really doesn't matter what you do. You have to go with what you're comfortable with, all right? Now, stick around to the end of the video if you're thinking, I'm pretty confident so far, because I do have one more method that I'll show you in a bit, which is much, much, much more advanced. And I'm not saying you should do that one. I think you should stick to one of these methods. But if you really understand it, you might like my method at the end. All right. So here's another question. This time you have a go. Now, you've got the freedom now. What type of fact box are you going to build? Are you going to use the one where you double and half, or are you going to use the one where you just systematically build up by partitioning it into 20 and 6? And then what method are you going to use once you've got your times table? Are you just going to write it out like short division, work out the remainders in your head, or are you going to write it underneath and subtract like I just showed you to make sure you get the remainders right? It really is up to you. So pause the video, get a pen and paper, write this question down. Can you get it correct using one of these methods? Okay, we're back. So I'm actually going to just use the second method this time, just to quickly demonstrate how to build it up. So watch how quickly I can build this fact box. I'm going to do my 2 times table, my 6 times table, put a 0 on these ones, add it together, bish bash bosh, we've done it. Right, ready? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Pop a 0 on the end of all of them because it's 20 and not actually 2. Okay, done. 6 times table, 6. Oh, careful. 6 is already at the top. 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36. Just making sure it's all in line. Yep, 42, 48, 54, and 60. Add them together really quickly in your head, and you get the 26 times table. So 40 and 12, 52, 78, 104, 130. We've got 156, 182. We're getting there. 208, 234. And last one, 260. There we go. How long did that take me? A minute? About a minute? That's not so bad, right? You know, these are 2-mark questions in the SAT, so you can afford to spend a minute building up your fact box. But it does, again, it relies on good maths knowledge. You know, if you guys are struggling adding 40 and 12 together, then you need to go and work on that skill a bit more so you're ready to do this kind of thing. Now I've got my times table, which I've got nicely down here. In fact, do you know what I'm going to do? Just to make this really clear for myself, I'm just going to write I keep forgetting the top one's 1. I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just so I remember which one is which times table. Okay, 1 times 26, 2 times 26, bloody, bloody, blah. So here we go. Let's solve this then. So 26 is into 1, obviously doesn't go. 26 is into 12, doesn't go. 26 is into 120 is my first real question here. Let's have a look. How close can I get? Well, 5 lots is too much, so it must be 4 lots, which I know is 104. I'm going to use my second method here to make sure I get my remainders right. 120 take away 104. Let's do some exchanging. 6, 1, 0. Gives me a remainder of 16. Excellent. So bring down the 9, or you could write 16 up there. It doesn't matter. And again, now we're thinking 26 is into 169. Let's have a look. Well, 182 is too high. 156 is good. So 6 lots gives me 156. Let's subtract this now to see what remainder we get. 9 take away 6 is 3. 6 take away 5 is 1. Cool, we've got 13 left over. So again, you could put it there, or you could just simply pull down the 0. And look, the last fact is right there. We're not going to get any remainders today. 5 lots of 26 make 130. And that's it. We've solved it. I've kind of taught you everything you need to know, really, for solving long division now. But I've got one more thing, so stick around. Here we go. Have a quick look with me. I'm not going to answer these. We're just going to have a look. I've got 3 SATs papers here. In the 2019 paper, there was two long division questions. Have a look at them. We're going to see if we can see a pattern. Here's the 2022 paper. And here's the 2023 paper. Did you notice something? In fact, it's always happened in the SATs. I could have gone back further. So in the SATs, there's always 2 long division questions. The first one is always a 3-digit one, and it's usually fairly simple, actually, to solve. The second one's always a 4-digit one, as you can see, but sometimes usually uses a much harder number to divide by. That happens every year, so let's use it to our advantage. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to solve now in an advanced way. So if you've made it to this far in the video and you're thinking, I'm already this is already a lot to take on, then I recommend genuinely stopping now and just going back and watching the first bit again, practicing a bit more. If you're thinking, I'm up for a challenge, I'm up for a deeper way of thinking, I want to solve this like an adult, like a mathematician, like you, then this is for you, okay? So here we go. I'm going to solve these in a different way completely using a very important skill called estimation. Watch this. 37s into 8 I know doesn't go, so it goes across like this. Now, I don't have a fact box. I don't know my 37 times table, but what I do have is common sense and a good estimating brain. Now, I'm going to estimate how many 37s go into 88. I think the estimate is fairly straightforward because I know that 2 lots of 30 is 60 and 3 lots of 30 is 90. So I know it can't possibly be 3, but I do think it's going to therefore be 2. I think 2 37s is going to go into this. In fact, 37 times 2 is such an easy thing to work out, even in your head, that you can very quickly know that it's just 74. So I know it's 2 lots. And then the difference between 74 and 88, you could write it down here if you wanted to. Again, if you're really not sure about your subtraction and get a remainder of 14. Or realistically, you can just add up from 74 to 88 and get 14. So my 14 goes across. And now I'm estimating again. How many 37s do I think go into 148? Now, common sense kicks in here, and I immediately notice that 140 is double 70. I wonder if 148 is double 74, because if it is, then it's just going to be 4 lots, right? 2 times 37 is 74. I know that double 74 is 148, so it must be 4 lots. I didn't have to do much working out there, guys. Maybe it was just a coincidence. Maybe that question just happened to be easy. Let's see if the 2022 paper was similar, or maybe we needed to take more time. So 21s into 6 doesn't go. 21s into 67, my estimate here, what's your estimate? Have a think. How many 21s do you think will go into 67? I think it's fairly obvious, because 20, 40, 60, right? There's going to be 3, because there's only 1 more in each of those 20. So it's going to be 21, 42, 63. It's going to be 3 lots. 3 times 21 is 63, which means I've got a remainder of 4, because 63 to 67 is just 4 left over. 21's in 42. Guys, do you really need time to work that out? It's obviously just 2, isn't it? It's double. Oh, okay. Maybe that was just a coincidence again. And in the 2019 and the 2022 paper, they just accidentally gave you a really, really quick, easy question. Let's just see. This one looks harder, right? 47. Nasty number. This one's going to be the one that's hard, right? Let's try it again. So I don't know my 47 times table. I haven't wasted time writing it down. Let's do it. 47s into 6 doesn't go. Okay, 61. How many 47s in 61? Well, obviously just one, right? Because 2 40s is 80. And it's already too high. So you can only get one lot of 47 in 61. You just got to work out your remainder, which you can do quite easily. 47 up to 50 is 3. Then you get to 60, add on another 10, so you're on 13. And then 61 is one more. We've got 14 remainder there. Now, how many 47s do we think are in 141? Well, again, look, it's not going to be that high, is it? Because if I just had 4 lots of 40, that's already 160. So 4 is too high. It's going to be 2 or 3, really, isn't it? So if you don't know, this is what you do. You just guess. I think it's going to be 3 lots. My estimate is it's quite close to 160. So I think it's going to be 3 lots. And I think 2 lots would be much closer to 80 or 90. So let's have a look. 7 times 3 is 20. Guys, what am I doing? 21. And 3 times 4 is 12 plus the 2 is 14. There you go. 141. That's what I wanted. 3 lots done. Was it just a coincidence, or is that method just good for those first questions in the SATs papers? I'll let you decide. So to summarize what I was doing there is I was estimating, every time I was estimating how many lots of this number I think went into the number. And if I needed to check it, I just quickly did a times table just to check it down here. It didn't take long to write that out. So here we go. Here's the ultimate test. What about the nastier ones? What about those bigger questions in the SATs papers? And these are the 3 from 2019, 2022, 2023 SATs. Does the same strategy work? Well, guys, I'm going to give you one chance to pause it if you want to have a go at using that new advanced strategy of estimating and working out multiplication facts as you need them. Have a go and then come back, and I'm going to do all 3 just to see if they're still fairly straightforward. Right, we're back. Did you have a go? Or did you just let that pause timer play and you're like, yeah, totally had a go? How would you know? Anyway, let's do it. So I'm not going to write down my 83 times table. I'm just going to work out as I go. 83s into 8 doesn't go. 83s into 80 doesn't go. Or, big number, 83s into 805. Think about this for 3 seconds and you might realise it's not as hard as you think. What would 10 lots of 83 be? 830. That's really close to 805. It's a bit over, so it can't be 10 lots. It must be 9 lots. Very obviously 9 lots, right? And I don't know what 83 times 9 is, so I need to know to work out my remainder. So I'm just going to do it down here. 83 times 9. This is saving me so much time. I'd still be writing my fact box now if I did the other way. 3 times 9 is 27. And 9 times 8 is 72, plus the 2 is 74. So do you know what? I'm not very confident right now, maybe you are, of finding the remainder between 747 and 805. So if you're not that confident, just do it in a quick subtraction, okay? You might realise, oh, hang on, 53 gets me to 800, and then 5 more gets me 58. But for those that aren't that confident, here we go. I can do some exchanging here. It's getting a bit messy over here, guys. And then 1 on here. 15 take away 7 is 8. I've got 9 take away 4 is 5. 7 take away 7 is nothing. So I do have a 58 remainder that goes across to here. And now it's time to estimate again. How many 83s do I think go into 581? Okay, here's my thinking. If 10 lots of 83 is 830, 5 lots of 83 is half of that, which is 415. It's bigger than that, so it's more than 5 lots. How many more lots of 83 do I think it's going to be? I think 6 or 7. What do you think? 6 or 7? It doesn't really matter, because it's going to be one of the two, isn't it? It's close enough. So do you know what? Let's try 6. 83 times 6. 3 times 6 is 18. 8 times 6 is 48 plus 1. Okay, 498. That was 6 lots. Do I reckon I could get another 83 out of this to get to 581? Well, yeah, definitely. In fact, I think I can get one more lot of 83 out of that. In fact, I'm certain if I added 83 to this, I will get 581. Because I'm certain of this, because I can just see the answers correct, I know that it's not 6 lots. It's actually going to be 7 lots. Done. A little bit more to that one, wasn't there, thinking-wise? But you can solve it. I wonder if you solved it quicker than me. Let's do the next one. Let's run this out so we've got a bit more space. Get this out of the way. There we go. 73 into 30 doesn't go. 3 doesn't go, sorry. 73 into 30 doesn't go. 73 into 306. What's my estimate? Well, do you know what? I know my 7 times table. So I know my 70 times table. I reckon 70, 140, 210, 280. 4 lots of 70 gets me to 280. 5 lots of 70 gets me to 350. So it's definitely not 5 lots. I think it's going to be 4 lots. Let's check. 73 times 4. Let's make sure this is under 306. 3 times 4 is 12. 7 times 4 plus 1 is 29. Excellent. So 4 lots is perfect. It gets me to 292, which means I've got a remainder of 8 to get to 300, plus 6 more. I've got a remainder of 14. And look at that, guys. If I see 70 and 140, I'm not even wasting time. I know it's 2 lots. 2 lots of 73 is 146. Done. Well, that was quick, wasn't it? 2022 paper, thank you. 3 marks. And the last one, 2023 paper, let's do it. 26 into 4472. 26 into 4 doesn't go. 26 is into 44. Well, it's not going to be much. It's going to be 1 or 2, isn't it? And I know that double 26 is 52. So it's not even 2 lots. It's just 1 lot. 1 lot of 26. So how much remainder do I get from 26 up to 44? Guys, if you're not too short doing it, just do the subtraction. We need to exchange. I'm going to put a 1 there. 14 take away 6 gets me 8. 3 take away 2 gets me 1. I've got 18 remainder. I'm going to write it up here and get 187. How many 26s do I think goes into 187? What's your estimate, guys? Use knowledge like you know what 10 lots of 26 is. And therefore, you could probably work out 5 lots of 26. What's your estimate for how many that go into 187? Well, here's my thoughts. 10 lots is 260. It's not quite close enough to that, but it's not too far off. 5 lots is half of that, 130. It's definitely over that. If I went from 130 to 187, I think that's about 1 or 2 more lots of 26, right? I'm going to go with 7 this time. I'm going to try 7. And if it's too high, then I know it's 6. So let's do it. 26 times 7. That's my estimate up here. 6 times 7 is 42. And 2 times 7 is 14. Plus the 4 is 18. Wow, look at that. That's perfect. That was really close. So it's definitely 7 lots because it's under 187. And what's my remainder from 182 to 187? Well, it's just 5, isn't it? So 5 goes across. And again, look, it's like the last question. 26 doubled is 52. I just know that fact really quickly. And the answer is done. So there we are. That's my advanced method, guys. I'm going to leave you with that. You decide where you are on this journey. Because as an adult, obviously I'm doing this last method here because I've practiced long division for years. If you're at the beginning of your journey, I suggest you go right back to the start and you build a fact box and you solve it with one of the 2 methods that I showed you earlier on. And stick to that until you're really confident. Then you can come and play with this method. Guys, got a question to leave you for the comments. So if you enjoyed this video, first of all, give us a thumbs up, follow us, click the bell, do all the good stuff on YouTube. And lastly, it helps us massively if you comment on the video. All right. So if you comment on the video, YouTube goes, hey, this video is cool. People like this. We'll show it to more people. So have a go at that question. Solve it. Don't use a calculator. That would be cheating. Solve it so you can practice your SATs arithmetic and leave a comment with your answer. Guys, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you in the next video. Tune in this week for some more.